On this week's show, Peloton and Lululemon's partnership and new ambassadors, and the University of Michigan bike is for sale.
And Peloton's last co-founder leaves the company, a new partnership with the New York City Marathon, and much, much more.
Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. Here are your hosts, Amanda Siegel and John Pruitt.
Welcome to episode 147 of Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. I'm Amanda Siegel, and I am joined by my lovely co-host, John Pruitt. I was going to say handsome, and then I figured, I don't know, just say lovely.
Don't feed the ego too much.
No. And we are very excited that we have our guest star today, Chris Lewis. You guys held down the fort for me last week.
Yeah,
we tried.
Here. We got the censor here keeping us in line.
Right. And I guess last week you really were censored, John. You had to really watch with your P's and Q's.
Yeah, no swearing. It was a clean episode. It was a PG episode.
Well,
yeah, one cut through.
We'll make up for it this week, though, Amanda.
We will. Yeah. Well, I am
happy belated birthday to you.
Thank you.
Is this the big 6-0?
Shut up. Are you serious? Are you serious?
Chris said it was the 60th last week.
Yeah, right, Chris. Do you want to lose an? Do you want to lose someone quick? You want to lose someone quick? It was very proud to say 54, but it was a fantastic birthday, fantastic week in London. London did me proud. It was on top form with beautiful weather, fun things, amazing studio stuff that I'll fill you in on when I get to the PSL bit that we'll talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a really special birthday. So thank you. Thanks so much. And listened to a little bit of the show, and you guys seem to have done really well. So good job, guys, without me. Glad to see that it wasn't perfect and that you still needed me around, but it surpassed. It was fine. How about you guys? Everybody good?
Yeah, it's been a gray, rainy, drizzly week here in Michigan, but the weather's going to be breaking pretty soon, so we should be fine by the weekend.
I know. I think it's going to be a beautiful week this coming week, so everybody will have to enjoy it where everybody is. All right. Well, we got a lot to talk about. So, folks, before we get started with the news, we always like to remind you how you can keep up to date with all of our content across all of our platforms. Every episode is released on our YouTube channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand side of the video and hit the notify button to make sure that you never miss an episode.
And of course, we're on all traditional podcast platforms. So if you just want to listen to us, if you're on the go and want to hear the audio only, just search for us, by Pelo Buddy TV. Subscribe, click notifications, and keep those 5-star reviews coming. We really do enjoy seeing those. Amanda loves to be complimented on the reviews and loves to be mentioned. So keep that up. And we do appreciate the feedback that we receive as well. So keep those coming.
And finally, we are on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, TikTok, you name it. Just search
Threads.
Pelo Buddy and follow us on all of those platforms for all of the latest news. And now let's get on with the show.
And before you do the first topic, Amanda, I was just going to say we did hear the feedback last week about the audio, and we're working on it. It seems to be an issue with iOS 17, so the audio might not be quite as good this week, but we're working on it, and hopefully next week it'll be back to normal. So,
absolutely, always trying to make it perfect for you guys because we know how much you rely on our weekly show to get all your Pelo Buddy and all your Peloton news from Pelo Buddy.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
All right, well, I guess let's get right into it. So, Peloton and Lululemon have announced a 5-year strategic partnership, with Peloton becoming Lululemon's exclusive digital fitness content provider, and Lululemon becoming Peloton's primary apparel partner. So starting October 11th, 2023, co-branded apparel will be available in select countries with further expansion planned. It looks like Peloton will use the opportunity to celebrate the launch at Peloton on Tour in Chicago, Berlin, and London, and select Peloton instructors will become Lululemon ambassadors. Lululemon Studio All Access members will gain access to Peloton content at no additional cost starting November 1st of this year. And Lululemon will discontinue its digital app-only membership tier and stop selling the Studio Mirror by the end of the year. But it will, though, continue to support existing device owners. So those that have the Mirror will be able to still utilize it, and it will be supported. Interestingly enough, this partnership comes almost a year to date after Peloton and Lululemon settled a lawsuit. All right, so with this partnership does come the announcement of 4 Peloton instructors, as I said, as brand ambassadors. So for those eager to find out who they are, we got the very handsome Erik Jager and Adrian Williams, as well as the beautiful Hannah Frankson and Chelsea Jackson Roberts, who will both be the brand ambassadors for the collaborated brand, which is really exciting. Peloton also announced on Thursday that all 4 instructors will be joining the already star-studded team out in Chicago for Peloton on Tour, giving folks an additional opportunity to get to meet them as well as participate in events that they will be hosting. So they'll be, and these are going to be new events that were released on Friday to book. So Thursday, they let everybody know, with a slight glitch in the system, allowing some folks to go ahead and book early. But Friday was when they officially released the new spots. There'll be a bodyweight strength class on Thursday with Adrian Williams with a $60 price tag. On Friday, folks can flow with Chelsea Jackson Roberts, also for $60 fee, as well as attend a Peloton Lululemon party where all 4 instructors will be in attendance. There will be no fee for this event, but folks are encouraged to RSVP. Members will also be able to get a first look at the apparel drop and an opportunity to buy merchandise if they choose. And then on Saturday, October the 7th, there will be a 5K shakeout run with multiple instructors. There is also no fee for this run either, but you do need to RSVP for your spot. So definitely an exciting addition to the Chicago lineup. Hannah and Erik have been very busy, as we've seen over the last few weeks, obviously preparing, for this co-branded launch, being, back and forth to the States. But how exciting. I mean, what do you think, John? I mean, I know you're going to be in Chicago, so you must be buzzing.
Yeah, we'll be there. I was looking at the events, and one thing I almost missed it to point out is all these events, or these additional events, they're not going to be at the Skokie Peloton showroom. They're actually going to be at the Lululemon store, the Lincoln Park location on West North Avenue, which is actually pretty close to where Jackie and I used to live when we lived in Chicago, when we lived in Lincoln Park. Yeah, so kind of closer to, downtown to the Loop. But yeah, I was thinking of maybe trying to get on one of the maybe the Friday morning, just the party.
Yeah.
Really, I wasn't thinking of, doing a run at 8 a.m. on a Saturday, but
no, definitely not.
Maybe I can get lucky and get on the party, get my hands on some of that Lulu branded Peloton apparel.
Yes. So from what I read, it looks like it's going to be kind of a couple hours, and they're going to flow people in and out. So I think it'll be a nice opportunity. I think you'll be able to get in. Put it this way, it's kind of like what they did with the John Husking Club Husky Party, where folks could kind of sign up, and we thought it was going to be, bombarded with folks, and it actually turned out to be really cool, and everybody got an opportunity. So yeah, exciting stuff.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Mirror partnership, because Lululemon bought Mirror a few years ago, and there were rumors this last year that they were looking for buyers for it, like they were trying to get rid of it altogether. So this seems like their way to try to offload that and quietly shut it down, without actually having found someone to buy it. Because it doesn't sound like Peloton bought the assets or anything. It's more that Lululemon said they're going to stop producing new content over the next year. Then they'll just get access to some of that Peloton content on the devices. So
very cool.
So you think that folks who have the Mirror device will be able to eventually access Peloton's digital app content on the Mirror?
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's looking like. That's exactly what it's looking like, that they'll be able to access that with support from Lululemon. But
Gotcha.
They'll be able to access it. Yeah. So exciting stuff. Definitely.
I know everyone seems super excited at the news. I mean, I have some of the Lululemon, like the jogger pants that I love, that have still held up really nicely, except for like the white Peloton P starting to peel. So I'm excited to see, the restock of a lot of the Lulu stuff that everyone loved so much back when they were collaborating before they were suing each other.
I mean, crazy. Yeah, and I got to say, there were people that were dissing the Peloton Apparel, line. And I got to say, I have not had any issues with any of the stuff. I think the stuff's been amazing.
Yeah,
so not
the
sure
only thing
the
only thing I had problems with was the Adidas collab, like the first one, which was kind of garbage in my opinion.
Well, and there's still one big open question too for people who already have the Peloton and the Mirror. Right now, they're paying for 2 monthly memberships, so they haven't explicitly said yet what's going to happen for those people who have both. Because presumably, if they're going to keep the Mirror content on demand, they're still going to access that. But you can't get the cycling and running on the Mirror at first, so you're going to have to keep paying for both, basically double for now to get both of that. So hopefully, we get some answers about that in the near future.
And it looks like Wall Street looked at the news as positive, because also the stock took a nice jump.
It started up
upwards direction.
It was up about 30% at first on the news, and then it opened about 15% up. And I was looking like, I think it was around 7% up at the end of the day on Thursday. So, I mean, any up is good these days, because recently it's been all going down.
Down. So this is exciting. Yeah. Let's hope that it's a bright future for Peloton with this collab. So that's awesome.
Thanks. Well, while we're on the subject of collabs, the University of Michigan Bike Plus collaboration that Peloton had recently announced, where they had a Bike Plus in Michigan, maize and blue colors, and it was recently, it's been on the sidelines at home games at Michigan Stadium, and I think they've got it in some other facilities for University of Michigan's athletics. So Peloton officially made their first branded bike available, this bike that they had announced some weeks back, available to the public. It's just the Bike Plus, and it went on sale this past Thursday morning. It's a little bit of a premium. It's basically $300 more than the traditional, just the normal Bike Plus price. It's $2,795 US dollars. Normally the non-branded, the regular Bike Plus is $2,495. And it's only in the US. It's not available in any other markets and any other Peloton markets currently, Canada or outside of the US and the UK or anywhere else like Australia. But like I said, back in August, this new bike was revealed as part of this partnership with the University of Michigan and the announcement of Peloton's college strategy. With that, members would be able to see the branded Bike Plus on the sideline of football games. And then for those that are interested, if you want to buy it, you can use one of Peloton's financing options. However, it's not going to be a part of Peloton's rental program. So you won't be able to get that one through that rental option. And also it won't be available through third-party retailers like Amazon. So it's directly through Peloton. only for sale in the US. It's technically listed as a pre-order right now. So they're saying they could start to ship between 8 to 14 weeks out. So it's
So
not like you're going to be getting
just in
it
time
next
for
week.
the holidays, maybe.
Yeah, just in time for the football season to end and
And
the
here,
bowl
John
games.
Pruitt, are you going to trade in that rinky-dink regular bike and get your Bike Plus with your Michigan
Hey, we
colors
got a Bike
finally?
Plus too.
I
Jackie's
know
got
you
the Bike
do,
Plus.
but
No,
I think it's
it doesn't do
time.
it for me. No,
Not?
no,
Oh,
it's we just finished. We just made the last payment on our Bike Plus maybe a month or two ago, so we're free and clear on both
all right.
bikes now,
Makes
and the
sense.
Tread Plus is almost all paid off. So no, I'm
Makes
not looking to
sense.
add a new monthly payment to
Yeah, no, I
our
am curious
workout
to see how
gym.
popular it is, whether it is something, because everybody was asking for it when it first came out. So,
Yeah,
what do you think,
And
Chris?
well, they did say that there are going to be other partnerships. So this is just the first of presumably many. And in addition to other branded ones, presumably with more universities and colleges, there's going to be some different colored ones like they teased on social media as well. So even if your school isn't out there, there might just be some a gold, a yellow, whatever. There's probably going to be a premium on those too. Maybe not $300, but maybe those will be $100.
Right.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how. I don't think we'll ever know because they don't break out sales numbers really. So they just said they're limited edition, so they can say they're sold out whenever and say they sold out of all the limited edition they had. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's
Make
a
it
nice
sound
bike. Like the whole metal frame is the Michigan blue color, and
right.
then they've got the traditional block M in yellow and maize colored on both sides, kind of up where the tablet sort of secures in below the handlebars. The resistance knob is a nice colored maize, and then I like the look of the flywheel where the crank arms are connected. It's a maize color in that little covering, where the belt
Yeah.
um, where the belt is. So I mean, it looks nice, it looks sharp, but no, it just doesn't
All
do it for me.
right.
I'd love to be able to just like to pose on one and get a picture for the gram, but I don't need it in the basement.
All right. Well, when you get up to Michigan,
Yeah.
you're going to have to go and find a bike so that you can, get to do that and
Hopefully,
have it there.
hopefully, I'll have to reach out to the Somerset location in Michigan to see if they're going to get one there. I would think they would want one on display in Michigan at least,
Sure.
one in Rome.
Makes
So,
sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. All right. Well, moving on. Out with the old, in with the new. It looks like one of the last remaining Peloton OGs and co-founders is out the door. So Peloton has appointed Nick Caldwell as the new Chief Product Officer, effective November 1st of this year, succeeding co-founder Tom Cortese, who has been with the company for nearly 12 years. Nick Caldwell does bring a slew of great background behind him, 20 years of global leadership experience, and has previously worked for some notable companies such as Twitter, Reddit, Microsoft, and Looker. He is the third C-suite hire from Twitter by Peloton in 2023, following the appointments of Leslie Berland as Chief Marketing Officer and Delana Brand as Chief People Officer. Cortese is the last co-founder still with the company. He will remain in an advisory role and expressed pride in Peloton's accomplishments and eagerness for its future growth. I'm sure he still has stock options and stock, so he definitely wants to continue to see it thrive and grow. Peloton CEO Barry McCarthy welcomed Nick, highlighting his impressive engineering design and product experience, and has emphasized the exciting times ahead for Peloton. Tom Cortese had posted a message in LinkedIn about his departure, saying, "From a blank sheet of paper more than a dozen years ago, I proudly crafted Peloton's product portfolio alongside a loyal team of strategists, creatives, and engineers. We crafted a user experience that simply didn't exist and used it as the foundation to create an entirely new market segment, connected fitness. He did go on to say that now, as Peloton prepares for its next chapter, new leadership will craft the next generation of experiences. And as he prepares for his, he says, I'm looking forward to new challenges, forming new teams of smart creatives, and harnessing all the energy I have to build what's next. John Foley did respond to Tom's LinkedIn post with a beautiful long message thanking him
It
for
was
his
quite a love
service.
letter. Yeah,
And it really was, wasn't it? I was like, okay, don't you
that was
talk to
really
the
heartfelt.
dude?
It
Like,
was great.
well, I know it kind of was like weird though. Like I was like, okay, don't you like talk to? It's like somebody writing something about somebody that's passed away on Facebook that they're never going to see. But anyway, it was quite a love letter, and it was nice for folks to get to see that, you know, the connection that they still have. So yeah, so hopefully that is just another new chapter for Peloton moving forward.
I mean, this is obviously not voluntary, right? This is all part of Uncle Barry's master plan and bringing his people in, right,
Yeah,
to
but
right the ship.
I guess I would assume so. What do you think,
I don't
Chris?
know.
You probably have
I mean,
thoughts.
I can see it either way because I mean, if he being one of the co-founders, starting when it was them in a broom closet, it's a different company today, right? And a lot of
Of
people who
course.
like that startup feel don't like the S&P 500 company feel. So he might have just felt that it was time for something new, you know, and you know, it probably aligned
Yeah,
with Barry wanting new people in there, so the timing might have just all worked out. It's hard to say for sure, though.
And I got to tell
yeah,
you,
because
as a
there's no,
shareholder, but as a shareholder, it had to have been rough seeing your fortune dwindle as it did, you know, over
mm,
the last 2 years. I mean, you know, you go from being, you know, just, you know, a pretty self-sufficient, you know, billionaire to being, you know, just one of us.
well,
Um,
especially for the instructors and the corporate
yeah,
employees who were, equity, who had a lot of
for
equity.
sure,
I don't know what they
for
did with
sure.
all their stock if they're still
Yeah, yeah.
holding, but yeah, that obviously went down the
Well,
drain.
we'll continue to watch and see where this goes.
Do we think he's going to go over to sell the
Rugs?
rug space with John Foley?
No, I think he's too smart for that. I think he has quite a, you know, he
He's
has
got to go
quite a
something
resume
techie.
behind him. He's too techy. Yeah. So we'll wait
I
and
never
see.
met him. Did either of you ever cross
No,
paths with Tom Cortese?
no.
Yeah. I never saw him in any of the studios or, um, I know my brother-in-law has crossed paths with him because Tom Cortese is a member of the country club in New Jersey where my brother-in-law is members and he's a board member of. He's
Oh,
like the
interesting.
treasurer or something there. Yeah.
All right.
And he's also seen Kirsten Ferguson at the same place at the pool in the summertime
Oh,
because
too
he'll just
funny.
text me randomly. Yeah.
Too
Anyway.
funny. All right, moving on.
All right. So Peloton is giving away 4 entries into the New York City Marathon, which is coming up at the beginning of November. They just posted on the Peloton Insta stories. There's no purchase necessary. There's a couple caveats though. You do have to be a Peloton member prior to the opening date of the contest period, which begins at 3 p.m. Eastern time on September 26th. So we're already a couple days into that. So if you're not a Peloton member, you're out. But it runs until midnight, October 3rd. They're non-VIP race bibs, but it's basically, I mean, normally entry into the New York City Marathon, if you get in, because I guess it's a lottery system, right? It's not a guaranteed entry. It's $295 normally, but it's all part of a bigger partnership that was actually just announced this past Thursday. Um, and the announcement reads, starting with the TCS New York City Marathon, the New York Roadrunners, NYRR, and Peloton have announced a multi-year partnership to bring NYRR races to life to runners around the world through Peloton scenic and outdoor content. It goes on to say the audio classes will release sometime in late 2023, with scenic content launching in the spring of 2024 on the Peloton Tread and Tread Plus. Peloton is going to be a strategic partner of NYR's through 2025 in the digital fitness category. And as the brands work together to create motivational fitness content accessible to all runners of all abilities, as a new strategic partner, Peloton will also activate around the United Airlines NYC Half Marathon and the RBC Brooklyn Half Marathon. And then
Oh,
as part of the partnership with the New York City Marathon, Peloton will also be present throughout the race course, bringing the energy and motivation to runners and spectators alike. And additionally, several Peloton instructors will be running in the New York City Marathon. Bronx native and strength and boxing instructor Rad Lopez will be in it. Yoga, meditation, and shred instructor Mariana Fernandez and Selena Samuela, as well as UK-based tread instructor Susie Chan and Jeffrey McEachern will also be in it as well. And I just noticed if you want to enter, for one of the 4 spots that Peloton is offering, I was just looking, it was a Google Forms basically based doc, and it was asked for your leaderboard name, your name, but it asks some, questions that obviously Peloton's factoring into it. And some of those are what motivates you to exercises, why are marathons important or special to you, how has Peloton helped support your training and journey?
awesome. Awesome. Well, I know that Jeffrey was really excited about being added to the roster and is running for the Christopher Reeve Foundation. So that was quite exciting there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. They said they're doing both audio only and scenic classes. Most of the scenic classes with instructors, it's been where the camera is literally next to the instructor. Not sure that's going to be possible during the race. So it'll be interesting how the scenic content for this turns out. Like, will it be just a camera going through the race and the instructor talking over it? Or will they cut between different instructors on different parts of the course? So, you'll only get that if you're a Peloton tread owner, because the scenic content is
Yes.
only available on the device. You
Hardware.
can't get that with the app.
Right.
But that's probably why they're doing the audio only version as well, so they can push the audio version out to all the other members who don't own the Tread or the Tread Plus. And they did specifically say to the Tread Plus as well, which, as we know, they've said is coming back at the end of the year. So just another indicator that they're starting to talk about the Tread Plus again.
Yeah, now it's getting mentioned and in new press. Yeah, new press.
Yeah, for a while they pretended like it didn't exist. So
yeah.
Awesome. I actually didn't know that Susie was running New York. That's news to me. I didn't realize that she was running. I knew she wasn't running Chicago. I knew she was going to be in Chicago, but wasn't running Chicago. But yeah, that's awesome. That'll be fun. I'm planning on being in New York for the weekend, so we'll cheer them on, and I'm looking forward to being a part of that. So it should be fun. Definitely not running and not even attempting to put in an application. Not for me, but it will be fun to cheer the others on. Yay, go! Yeah, not a marathon runner, that's for sure. That's for sure. I admire everybody that does, and it's beautiful to watch these guys put so much effort into it, but not something for me. All right. Well, a new body appreciation collection dropped with 6 brand new classes by Chelsea Jackson Roberts, Christine D'Urclay, and Ash Pryor. So Chelsea has a 30-minute yoga flow and a stretch. Christine has a 30-minute ride and a stretch. And Ash has a 15-minute row and a stretch. So there are 19 other classes in this collection, but the 6 new classes were specifically titled Body Appreciation. The description of these classes states, celebrate all that your body can do with classes that meet you where you are. Each workout is an empowering invitation to find movement that works for you, complete with variations for all body types. So it was definitely a stop moment for me. Something that, I appreciate that they're looking at, and I do. I look at so many folks that are on the platform that work so damn hard, and just knowing that they are moving their bodies and doing this and are heavier is just amazing. And a lot of them aren't even doing it to lose weight. They're really just doing it to remain healthy. And I think that's such an amazing thing, and that Peloton are acknowledging it and, being so open-armed I just think it's fantastic. I have to say, initially it was definitely a stop me moment when I saw that, and I thought, wow, that's kind of high, focusing on three heavier instructors, but absolutely not. I mean, I think it's amazing to show that all body types can work out, and you don't have to be, a skinny malinky to be healthy. You can do both.
Yeah.
So I gotta say, I was pretty impressed.
Yeah, I think it's great. Well, we got a new artist series, this time with Janet Jackson. And this series just began this past Thursday on the 28th. It included 13 classes across 7 modalities, including 4 in German. And there was a mix of live and pre-recorded on-demand drops. But from my list, there was a 30-minute Janet Jackson cool-down ride with Hannah Frankson, a 30-minute full-body strength with Tunde, a 20-minute Janet Jackson row with Adrian. That one appeared to be live, actually.
It was not.
Oh,
It
it
was.
wasn't.
It
Okay,
dropped Encore.
gotcha. 30-minute Janet Jackson bike boot camp with Cody. Ooh, I haven't. That one was not on my radar, so I'm sure that one dropped on demand too, because I definitely didn't see any live. Cody hasn't done a live bike boot camp in forever. A 30-minute Janet Jackson run with Jeffrey. A 30-minute run with Marcel. Both of those are in German, by the way, with Jeffrey and Marcel. One in German with Erik Jager, a 20-minute ride. And then a 20-minute Janet Jackson yoga flow with Nico. That was also in German. And then a Janet Jackson tread boot camp, which was 30 minutes with Jocelyn Thompson Rule. A 30-minute yoga conditioning with Kira Michelle. And then out of PSNY, we had a 30-minute Janet Jackson run with Bex, a 30-minute ride with Emma, and a 20-minute Janet Jackson Pilates with the DT, which debuted as a premiere. So I guess it was pre-recorded, premiered on the schedule. And then in addition to the traditional classes, there will also be 2 lane break classes, both for the bike and the tread. And this month, September, has been pretty quiet in terms of artist series classes with just the All for One Music Festival, which took place at the beginning of the month. But I mean, we got a lot out of that. There was a lot of content. So I mean,
Wow.
I'm sure they were pretty exhausted from doing all those recordings and drops. But we also had the Thomas Rhett classes that happened this past week, which were just, I think there was just 2 of them.
Yeah.
The Thomas Rhett number ones with
Hannah and
Corbin
Matt.
and Matt. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're making up for it in October. So in October, the new artist series dropped with the classes that were dropped. So the first one that we will see is Pablo Vittar. And Maddie Majacomo is going to have a 20-minute full body strength class on the 5th of October. Camilla Roman is doing a Pablo Vittar run, also on the 5th.
Pablo Vittar?
Vittar. It's
Who's Pablo Vittar?
I believe that Pablo Vittar is a Latin artist, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's Latin Heritage Month, so I believe that
for
is
September.
No, these are now the October.
Mid-September through mid-October is when Latin Heritage Month runs.
Correct. So these are October ones.
Pablo is a Brazilian drag queen and singer.
Great. I'm glad you know your Brazilian artists, Chris. I'm really impressed with you.
That has Cody's name all over it.
Thank you, Wikipedia.
All right, I'm impressed. Just come to Pelo Buddy for all your, useless information. We'll give it to you. No, that's not useless. But all right. So moving on, there is also a Rodrigo e Gabriela artist series. It is going to be we have Yoga Flow with Mariana. She is going to drop that on the 12th of October, a 30-minute Yoga Flow. And Kendall Toole is doing a 30-minute ride on the 12th. So that is with Rodrigo e Gabriela. And then at the end of the month, there is a ludicrous artist series. And of course, we're sure that, we're kind of telling you about these. I'm sure there will be other pre-recorded, classes that
There
will
will
drop
be
as well.
there will be other live too. These are just the ones with members that were open for pre-booking. So there will be other live ones without members. There will be other ones on demand.
Got it.
I mean, for example, the Janet Jackson, there were only 3 or 4 live with members that we shared last month, and there ended up being 13 plus 2 lane breaks. So there can be a wide range. So we're saying 2 or 3 here, but we'll know the week before, kind of how many end up being for each one.
And we'll definitely keep you guys posted. So as far as the ludicrous drop, it is dropping on the 26th of October. Jess King has a 30-minute ride. Kirsten Ferguson has a 30-minute run. And Dennis Morton has a 30-minute yoga flow. And that is all with the ludicrous artist series. And then it also looks like there will be classes dedicated to the recently released superhero film Blue Beetle, based on the DC Comics character Jamie Reyes. The classes announced through the Peloton Studios Instagram post shared that it will include a 30-minute Blue Beetle movie ride led by Camilla Rahman, and that dropped on the 28th, so this past Friday or Thursday. A 20-minute Blue Beetle yoga flow in Spanish with Mariana, and that's on the 2nd of October. This film, for those, and I had to look this up because I did not know anything about this particular movie, this Blue Beetle, but it is a film that features stars such as Yolo Mariduena, I believe, Bruno Marquezine, and then Susan Sarandon and George Lopez are also in it. We are not anticipating, though, that a badge will be awarded for taking any of these classes, kind of similar to the Barbie movie classes that were held earlier a couple months ago. But they are going to be specifically, no Blue Beetle badge, but they are going to be specifically classes for that movie. Yeah, Chris?
And this does tie into Latin Heritage Month because it's a Latino superhero. So that's kind of the tie-in to this month. And it just came out a couple weeks ago. So it ties in well to Latin and Hispanic Heritage Month.
Awesome.
You see Blue Beetle, Chris? I know
I
you
did.
haven't seen it, Amanda.
I did go see it.
It
was, I prefer Marvel movies over DC movies. So I enjoyed it, but,
DC's
if you go
dark, DC, they're a little darker usually. Darker tone. The character.
Yeah, this was the same.
Well, it seems like the New York studio is trying out another weekend of live row classes with members. On October 7th, there are several row classes on the live schedule for that Saturday with Alex, Katie, Matt, and Adrian. All will have members. Was invite only, but it looks like it's another test run before they start having row classes with members on a regular basis after that. So stay tuned. If you're itching to get to PSNY and get into a row class, it looks like they'll be coming, this fall on a regular basis.
Yeah, and the invite that went out to members talked about how this was a special invite as a thank you for being one of the first members to order a row. So that was kind of how they selected this one, was presumably some of the first ones to order. You didn't get to pick which you didn't get to pick which class, right?
I didn't get that invite.
I was just going to say, John, really happy that they included you and me, considering we were in the first to order those.
Well, I'm sure they looked at the tri-state area. Yeah.
No, it went to people outside the tri-state area. You might know someone who got.
Thanks, Chris, for rubbing salt in the wound.
You might know someone who got. You might know someone who got one of those.
Probably in my
Mr.
spam.
Chris Lewis,
Probably in my
did
spam.
you?
I probably didn't see it.
I did.
No. Awesome. Are you going to go?
I've booked a spot. We're going to see if I go or not. TBD. But I have a spot in the Alice class right now.
Oh, that's awesome. I hope you can get to go.
Yeah.
I really do hope that you get to go because I know that you really want to do
waiting to see if you can get into some other things that weekend, Chris?
More to see if I can find a not crazy flight to get up there. So, Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, I'm really happy that you got to be invited. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right.
Thanks.
Must be nice. Must be nice.
First time I've gotten one of those invites. So, you know.
All right, but we'll just keep sharing the news. And the news as follows is that Ross Rayburn is the next instructor on the roster that has authored a book. Surprise, surprise. It's titled Turning Inward, The Practice of Introversion for a Calm, Joyful, Authentic Life. It is set to be released on January the 9th of 2024. It was published by Hatchet Go. It is available for pre-order on Amazon and does offer a fresh perspective on mindfulness and meditation through the practice of introversion. Ross draws on his own extensive experience teaching yoga and meditation at Peloton to present meditation as a method of self-exploration for finding authenticity, joy, and calm in a busy world. Unlike other Peloton instructors' books, though, Turning Inward is more of a guide than a memoir. So, as you know, Ross joins the author ranks of several Peloton instructors, including Robin Arzon, Emma Lovewell, Cody Rigsby, Ben Aldous, Alex Toussaint, Maddie Majacomo, and Christine Durkley, who have either already released or are working on books. And I've made it no secret that meditation literally, changed my life. And I have really enjoyed working out and doing my meditations with Ross. So I think this is one book that I would love to learn more about, because I would love to understand a little bit more about the practice of meditation as opposed to just doing it. But I got to tell you, certainly, during my injury, it saved me. I mean, it just saved me. And I, continue to draw on that with having just celebrated 1,700 meditations this weekend with Ross live in studio. So that was very exciting to be able to do that and get to congratulate him, on the book. But while we're on the subject of Ross, and definitely I'm one very happy lady because he's just released another 30-minute sleep meditation. And whilst I love these 30 minutes, I never do tend to get right to the end. So one day I'm going to have to do them during the day, just so that I can really get to hear him from start to finish. But I got to tell you, I do like these 30 minutes. I think they're great.
We had some events with Alex Toussaint this past weekend that went down. So Peloton hosted a special Ride to Greatness class, which is a signature series from Alex. It happened on the afternoon of Saturday, September 30th, and Peloton had shared the news via the Peloton Studios Insta account. But framed as an Alex Toussaint double header, there was a 20-minute Ride to Greatness ride that happened that Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern time, followed by his normal 30-minute, it's usually 30 minutes or 45 minutes, depending on the week he's teaching Club Bangers. But it was a 30-minute Club Bangers ride that happened shortly after at 3:30 Eastern that same afternoon, on the afternoon of Saturday, September 30th. Both of the classes had members in them. Spots were secured invite-only basis, meaning you couldn't book them on the traditional method on the Peloton booking site. But they aired them live like they normally do to members all over at home. And the Ride to Greatness is one of Alex's signature series. That it's a competition style class. It first launched in 2021, and then it came back in 2022, and then it expanded to the tread as well as on the bike in 2023. And then following those two live rides on Saturday afternoon, there was a special event at PSNY in celebration of Alex's upcoming book launch, his book, Activate Your Greatness. It took place at 4:30 that afternoon, and there was a ticketed event, which it was $50 for a ticket. It wasn't publicly promoted, and spots were confirmed also on an invite-only basis. But his book, it's just around the corner. It'll be released on October 10th. We've got a link to it, an affiliate link on pelobuddy.com. But then the day before that, on Friday, September 9th, Alex had another appearance. This one was at the Puma flagship store in New York City, in conjunction with his in-person release of his new Puma cycling shoe, which sold out pretty quickly when it debuted just a week ago, I guess. And I know it's in a nice white and a silver, which I really loved. And I don't know if there was a third color, if there was an all black, Chris.
I don't think so. But what size are you, John?
Okay. 46, size 12.
All right.
Yeah.
Because there's been people who bought multiple size because they weren't sure which ones are going to fit them. And then, they're offering to other members for the cost they had to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good to know. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
so
I
you
know
had
a
an
lot of
event
people were
there.
disappointed. Yeah, a lot of people were disappointed. There was a lot happening this past weekend. Having been down here, I was disappointed that I had to leave Saturday and couldn't go to the Alex event at PSNY. I actually, a girlfriend had bought an extra ticket and offered for me to buy it from her, but unfortunately I wasn't able to stay. So I was disappointed about that. And then unfortunately on Friday, it coincided with Jess King's event at PSNY. So wasn't able to go to that either at the Puma store. But there was a ton that was going on. So good for Alex. And it's really exciting stuff. So it was wonderful to get to see that. All right. Well, talking about things going on, it's finally out there, something that many have been waiting for some time. Peloton has unveiled a vibrant and unique, and boy, oh boy, can we say unique, apparel collection in collaboration with Brittany Allen. So fashion designer and season 20 Project Runway All-Star finalist, a member of Peloton, and a very close friend of Jess King. So this collection, titled Peloton times Brittany Allen, a collaboration, combines bold colors, daring prints, and sustainable design, reflecting Brittany's fun and fearless approach to fashion. It includes 19 pieces spanning women's, men's, and gender-neutral styles, aiming to encourage self-expression and creativity. The collection will be available for purchase online and at Peloton studios in New York and London starting September 29th. So just this past Friday, it did in fact go on sale. Brittany has previously designed custom styles for Peloton instructors, garnering attention and appreciation from Peloton community members. So definitely was something that members were definitely looking forward to. I would love to tell you how fantastic the event was, but as it is evident, we do tape this just a little early. So although you will be listening to this on Sunday,
what are you talking about? It's Sunday. It's Sunday right now.
I know, it's like so much is happening this weekend and I'm going to be part of all of it. And Chris is coming up to New York and he's going to be part of it. It's like, God damn it, we tape on Thursday and we release this to you guys on Sunday. And it's so frustrating, but I'm sure that's going to be a fun event. So next week, if we do have a show, we'll be able to share with you that. But I'm excited for Brittany. It was disappointing. She was a finalist. It was disappointing she didn't win. But she's got bigger and better things.
Are you going to be scooping up some of these?
It's not
pieces,
my jam.
Or is it not for you?
It's too.
Yeah,
it's just a little
some
too
people
bold
are crazy
for
about
me.
it. Yeah, it's just, to me, it's like it's trying too hard.
Yeah.
It's just not. It doesn't do anything for me. But also, I'm not the target.
Right. No.
Audience
Look, I think Brittany is incredibly talented. I think some of the stuff she's put together for the instructors has been amazing. And certainly for some of these, artist series rides and runs and stuff that they've done, it's been a fantastic. I got to tell you,
I'm curious about the price. Do we know?
Yeah.
Every collection's not for everyone, right? I mean, on the comments of my post, there's a lot of very excited people about this. So I still expect that it's sold out very quickly.
No question.
So it'll be gone pretty quick, I imagine.
And I'm sure it's something that's not heavily stocked. It's very limited quantity, so it's going to be gone in a flash.
Well, I'll let you know next week if I snatched anything up. But it'll be fun to be there anyway. She's incredibly talented.
I'm going to wait for the Lulu. I'm going to spend my money on the Lulu stuff probably.
Yeah.
And speaking of
save that last referral code.
You can get a sneak peek of some of the Lulu stuff on the Peloton Apparel Instagram. At the end of the week, they dropped a little behind the scenes of some of the new ambassadors wearing the clothing.
Yes.
So if you're curious what the Lulu is going to look like, you can look at that on the Peloton Apparel Instagram.
Yeah, Hannah Frankson had a super cute, like white, little short shorts with a white sort of tank that looked really nice.
Yeah, it was awesome. All right, Chris, you want
And
to share with
one,
us?
yeah, one other thing that Peloton has launched this week is there is a expanded bonus referral credit. So normally the credit's $100 for the buyer and $100 apparel for the referrer. Until October 9th, they're doubling that. So in the US, the person buying using your referral code will get $200 worth of accessories and you'll get a $200 apparel code. Again,
Nice.
that's through October 9th. It's 200 in the US. It's double whatever it normally is in other countries as well. I know some are 125, some are 150, but through October 9th. So if you have someone looking to buy, if University of Michigan bike, pre-order that and get a little bonus
Yeah.
referral.
I like
And
that.
I do have very limited referral slots available for me. So DM me, anybody watching, listening, if you
And
need
I
a
have
referral
all
code.
mine.
You need a
So
referral code.
if anybody's looking, I have all six. I'm all tapped out.
Wow, Amanda.
My pool has closed. My pool has closed. All right.
Oh,
And
you're
ending
maxed
out the
out. Okay.
news, I wanted to share with you guys just a little bit of a PSL update. I was fortunate enough to be there for the Refresh Glow Up opening. And you know what? I love the name that they gave it because it definitely was a glow up. So I got to be there. I was, as I said, I was in London. Thursday, they started peeling down the front stickers on all the windows.
The windows.
And when
Yeah.
you looked in, nothing looked different. So the main lobby area was all pretty much the same. So we had to wait until we, got in there on Friday. And I was fortunate enough to be in both the tread studio and the cycling studio.
Cycling.
Tread studio has pretty much, as far as treads go, it's the same. So there are still only 14 treads in the tread studio. They did not increase how many treads they had. And it looks great. I mean, what they've pretty much done is try to make it look a lot more like the PSNY studio. Beautiful colors. They can change the colors, whatever the instructor would like for the lighting to look like on that day. They can pretty much change the colors. There's a lot of joking about how the instructors now have the knob that they can turn to increase the sound volume.
They got their little stand with their box for the volume.
Exactly.
And they don't get a laptop, they just get a knob.
Correct. And they talked about the knob, and John was like, if they only knew what knob means in the UK, they wouldn't be throwing around this goddamn name knob. He was, joking about that quite a lot. I mean, big mirror in the back. It had some lighting that said, Peloton Studios London on each side. I got to tell you guys, it was nice. It looked like New York. Whether it had to be closed for 6 weeks, there was a lot of grumbling about that. One of the things that I think is going to bother members is that although there are mirrors, you cannot necessarily be seen in the classes. So if you've been taking classes in the last week,
darker.
Yes, you can literally
They
see
keep it
silhouettes.
dim.
You can literally see a silhouette. You can kind of see legs in the cycling studio. You can see legs in the tread studio, but you really can't make out who is on the tread unless you wear a psychedelic color and you know that that's you. So I thought that was really interesting.
Now,
that they really,
in the tread studio, I know in the cycling studio, like the bikes are a little further away than they used to be. Are the treads a little further away, or are they about the same distance from the instructor?
No, interestingly enough, they actually are not further away, even in the cycling studio. They are not further away. They've added an additional 4. So the cycling studio went from 24 bikes to 28 bikes now. There are an additional 4 bikes. The stage that is in the cycling studio is different. So it's not round, it's actually oblong, with Peloton Studios London kind of in the front and lights. But no, you actually feel closer. And the instructors actually said, you kind of feel kind of close to me as they looked, as they looked over. But I mean, they were very excited. I'm very excited for them. Obviously, it's very different for the instructors to now, have this lighting effect and that they can change and the sound.
They have all these lighting packages.
Right, right. But as someone, I mean, I kind of felt spoiled. As someone who came from PSNY, there wasn't that much. And I felt embarrassed because Bradley said to me after the ride, he was like, so what do you think? What do you think? And I'm like, do you want my honest opinion? And I was honest.
He was expecting you to be totally blown away.
Oh, yeah. He was like waiting for me to say, oh, my God,
Yeah.
this was amazing. And I think it's great, but, it's kind of, I was worried that the intimacy of PSL was going to be lost with this new update. And I will say that it has not. I still felt that, it's still that really cool, intimate experience that you get that you just don't get at PSNY. The staff at PSL, I will say it over and over and over again, are amazing. They make everybody's experience truly, truly fantastic. They have added the picture taking, GIF making screen that they have at PSNY. They've added that now at PSL as well.
The photo booth, right?
The photo booth, yes.
Is that upstairs?
So, and it is upstairs. It is upstairs. As you come up the stairs before you stand in line to get your pictures taken for cycling class.
Now, two quick questions for. Sorry, you want to go ahead, John?
Go ahead, Chris.
So, did you notice any difference in the audio in the room? Were there anything noticeable for that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you could definitely, it was much clearer.
Beefed up.
It was definitely the music, the sound of the music was great. I know for Bradley, we couldn't hear him for in the pre-show when they're kind of checking, sound. It took a while for them to correct that.
That's why they do sound check, right?
Exactly. But as far as once the class started, you got to hear the instructor beautifully. You got to hear the music was fantastic. So yeah, I mean, I know they put a lot of work in there, and I'm excited for them. But it really wasn't a like wow. I don't know what I was expecting. Of course, we didn't get access to the strength studio, so that was still upstairs. I tried to peek in there. /rowing, we hope. I tried to peek in there. They did keep the door closed and didn't really want people in there.
So, and did they do any changes in the locker room area, or is that pretty much the same as it was
all
before?
The same. Yep, everything
okay.
the same.
And then, have you seen since then? I know there was the Flex Studio that some of the German instructors, is that?
That is the strength studio that they use upstairs. So what they had done was that studio used to have just a bike in there for the German instructors to record. That is now completely changed. But it is going to be used, for strength and hopefully members eventually. I mean, that was definitely the rumble that, we were anticipating that members will be able to take classes. So yeah.
Now for the cycling studio. One other question. Does the ceiling seem like it's a little, is there more clearance in the ceiling height?
Definitely more clearance.
So you're lucky day, John.
It is your lucky day,
Did they do a height check like they normally do?
No, they did not. No height check. No height check. You could kind of sit where you wanted. Yep.
You can go to that corner now, John.
You should be good to go. It was all,
good to know. I don't have to worry about getting booted out of the front row.
One level. But again, I mean, just huge kudos to the UK team, to everybody that was involved, because it truly, truly was fantastic.
I like the lightings. I like the look of it. The cycling studio, I thought it was just for the layout behind the instructor. I thought it was kind of interesting that one side it sort of like curves up, and then the other side it doesn't, on like the other side of the instructor behind them, where the mirror is. You see that sort of half wall start to sort of slope a little higher up, and then the other side isn't like that.
I didn't notice that specifically. So I'll have to go back.
But I did a live class with Benny on Wednesday. I mean, it looked great. I mean, there wasn't members in there, but I mean, they keep the surrounding area pretty dark.
Correct.
When they have members, and PSNY is like completely lit up. So it's like the people to the left and right of the instructor in that front row. I mean, they're
totally see
pretty well lit. Yeah, you can see everything.
Really, it's literally the first bike that you can see on camera, and pretty much everybody else is in the dark. on the other side, so not necessarily in the studio. Obviously you can see what you're doing in the studio, but for when it replays back, it's definitely dark.
Yeah.
So that's your first
Well,
hand update from Seglo 3.
And you didn't was there any overlapping visit with John Mills? Did you guys cross paths?
I did not.
at
I
all?
left Sunday and he came Sunday, unfortunately. So I
Okay.
didn't. I missed him. He got to take a
I
class with
saw
I believe Hannah
he did a tread
Frankson.
class, right?
Yeah, with Hannah Frankson.
Jocelyn.
Oh, was it with Jocelyn?
Thompson.
Got
Yeah.
it. Okay.
I think so.
Maybe it
I
was
saw
Monday
I saw he
morning.
also made it out to Stonehenge too.
He
at one point
did.
in
But
his
we
travels.
we
Nice.
missed it. Unfortunately, I had to fly back Sunday, so I was bummed that I wasn't able to stay. But I got my fill. I got to celebrate my birthday there. It was fantastic. The staff were amazing. My friends were amazing. It was truly.
You made it over
a
to
great-
Dishoom.
I did, and it was delicious. It was delicious, and I got to see a football game. I got to see my first UK Premier League football game, and it was so much fun. And I got to see Crystal Palace, which is John Husking's team. So Crystal Palace play Fulham. I mean, it's just such a. It took me back to the days when my son used to play soccer, which was so fun. But it was just a great experience. Nobody won, and it was a fun experience to be there. So yeah. So all
Cool.
good.
Well, rounding out this portion of the show, we got some birthdays. So Tobias Hines, he had a birthday this past Wednesday, and Leanne Hainsby had her birthday, 36, on this past Thursday.
A really special birthday for Leanne. I gotta say, it was lovely to see her so happy and celebrating life, as she should. She's had such a, shitty year, that for her to be able to celebrate, because last year she definitely was not celebrating. So seeing her be so happy was amazing, and huge happy birthday to beautiful Leanne. Yeah. All right, John, I guess we are going to go straight into Instructor in the News. And why don't you go ahead and kick it off with Leanne's bow?
Yeah, we had some. First up, we got some Ben Aldis news. Ben is going to be running in the 2024 London Marathon. He's also doing some fundraising for it, for a nonprofit organization called Breast Cancer Now. He shared the news via his Instagram, and the post also included a little video when she teases that he reached out to Peloton to ask for a training coach, specifically Susie Chan, but she was not available apparently. So he had to settle for John Hosking. So he's slumming it with John for his training. And then he also said he went to take John Hosking's 30-minute pop run from the 22nd of September, which was the first live running class in the remodeled Peloton Studios London.
And I got to interject there just to say that, of course, we all got very excited because the news around the studio was that Ben was going to be in class. And of course, we all thought that Ben was going to be in
He was going to be there. Yeah,
but he was just on the leaderboard live, which was very frustrating when we realized as we stood outside that there were 14 of us and there was no Ben Aldis.
You were all looking. Yeah.
We were all looking for Ben. But yeah, that was kind of funny.
Yeah, he was in his recently remodeled home gym that he has with Leanne. And I think he just added a plunging tub now that they have set up right outside in that little garden space. Looks nice. Yeah, but said he's raising money for Breast Cancer Now, which is the UK's largest breast cancer charity dedicated to research and support. And he shared obviously why this is so important to him on his London Marathon fundraiser page. Obviously we're supporting Leanne and what she went through with her recovery from her the past year with her breast cancer diagnosis. But the 2024 London Marathon, it's taking place Sunday, April 21st, and you can also support Ben's fundraising efforts. He's got a dedicated fundraising page, which we have linked on pelobuddy.com.
Awesome. And then Ali Love, she stepped in as a guest host on the Today Show's third hour, replacing regular hosts Craig Melvin and Dylan Dreyer. Craig and Dylan were attending the Bottoms Up event in Connecticut, which raises funds for colorectal cancer awareness, a cause close to Craig's heart due to personal family experiences with the disease. The event was very successful and raised $1.2 million. But Ali Love, who joined today as a contributor back in May, shared health and fitness tips with the audience during her appearance.
Matt Wilpers was also recently interviewed, this time for spy.com. The title of the interview was Peloton's Matt Wilpers shows no signs of slowing down. They talked to him about his career before Peloton, his current athletic pursuits, some of his favorite sort of tech training gear that he loves, and the targeted ads that he loves on his Instagram feed that he gets. But he said early on he came from a pretty athletic family. He said his mom was actually a ski patroller. She was on the ski patrol growing up, and that was her high school job. She loved athletics. She said his mom and her dad, they got us into athletics early as kids. We were very active kids. We weren't allowed to have cable TV. They were always told to go outside and go play and be active. So, post-college, he kept competing. But he double majored in accounting and finance. So, he went into the world of public accounting, when he graduated from college, but said, looking back, he said athletics just came easily. He said there was so much that he learned from a lifetime of being coached by people that, he thought he would help a lot of people. And they asked him what was his first big purchase after joining Peloton's staff of trainers when he first got hired. And he splurged and he got a road bike. He got a Specialized Tarmac, which I guess is a really high-end road bike. He said, I'm riding the Ferrari of road bikes and it's amazing. But on the flip side, just like Ferraris are, just like Ferrari race cars, they're really expensive and expensive to maintain. That's the drawback to it. And then they asked him about apparel, things that he likes to wear. He said his locker is full of Milan hats, which, he does like to wear backwards hats a lot of times in his classes that he teaches. He loves the Nike Metcon shoes for strength training. He also says the Noble makes a good shoe. Sorry, I just lost my place here.
All right. So good for math.
What
so
else?
Good...
No, I'm not done yet.
Oh, sorry.
He said for watches, he loves the Garmin Forerunner 945. He swears by Garmin. He also swears by Oakley sunglasses for outdoor cycling and running. And he loves his cycling shoes by Specialized. He says he has 10 pairs of Specialized cycling shoes. And then Oars and Alps for skincare.
And he is sponsoring all those brands.
I know.
I was going to say, most of those aren't sponsors, though. I know Oars and Alps is and a couple others, but most of those I don't think are sponsored.
That's nice.
Says he loves Lululemon shirts because he's 5'7" and he's so thin that stuff doesn't fit on him well, but they make an extra small that I guess fits perfectly. So he loves the Dry Sense short sleeve Lulu shirt. He says he's got every color that they've ever made in that shirt. That's his go-to. So, all right, enough product plugs.
Matt Wilpers.
Not enough about Matt, but one of those products he mentioned that he's partners with is Oars and Alps, and he actually worked with them, and they created a short form documentary about a ride Matt does every year, the Hincapie Grand Fondo, which is a 100-mile ride in South Carolina. And it turns out they worked together and they made a short form documentary film. That's coming out today, the 2nd. It's today, Sunday the 2nd.
Yeah.
That'll come out. They haven't said how long it's going to be. They just said a short form documentary. Wednesday night this week, most of the instructors actually went to a screening of it, and Matt shared a couple pictures, photos from it. He hadn't really talked about it, so it's kind of a surprise that this was even coming out, but they had the screening and then he shared that it'd be out at the end of the week. So the Oars and Alps YouTube channel, I believe, and we'll have a post up shortly with information about it as well.
Nice.
So it's a documentary about his skincare?
No, about his training, training and getting ready for the ride, and because he's done it several years, he goes every year to do it. I know he's doing it this upcoming year as well. It's always at the end of October, so it's around his birthday. So that's one of the things he does for his birthday is goes and ride that. And the Peloton Road Riders normally have a little crew out there as well that he does a ride with. So it's a weekend of riding in the South Carolina mountains.
And I guess it's no secret that you love Matt Wolpers, Chris, so you can talk about
I
him as
mean,
much as you want. I love it. I love it. I love the love
I
that
love
I
him
see
too.
in your
I love him
eyes.
yeah.
All right. Well, I have somebody that I love. And of course, I'm bursting with this next one because a huge congrats to Jeffrey McEachin. And of course, all the other runners for finishing the Berlin Marathon on Sunday, last Sunday. Jeffrey had shared his training with the community as he was going through it. But he also shared his excitement about running Berlin. And in an Instagram post, he said his heart was so full. He said he had so much joy every step of the way. The crowd was incredible, and that he was grateful that he gets to do these things in life. He said he was grateful for his body, for his friends, his family, and of course for the community. He had a little hiccup in the middle, or kind of towards the end maybe of the race, where he just didn't know if he was going to keep going, and he had to walk it. And he said
You get cramped up.
yeah, and he just said the community, there was somebody that kind of came up to him, and I forget the guy's name, but kind of patted him on the back and ended up running the end of the marathon with him. And he just said it was such an amazing feeling. So it's so wonderful to see just the joy that Jeffrey exudes in everything that he does. And I was so proud of him, so proud of him. And of course, so excited now that he's going to get to do New York, and we'll get to see him and cheer him on in November. So that's so awesome.
And I forget if we mentioned this when we talked about him earlier, but he is fundraising for the Reeves Foundation
Yes, I
as well. And on his
I did say that.
perfect. Just wanted to
I did say
re-mention that if we
before.
hadn't.
Yeah. No, and it's on
What
his
are
on his
those?
Instagram.
I saw him running. What are those sleeve things that he was wearing? Are those to, I don't know, prevent like chafing on your
I
arms?
did see that I didn't have asked him. I did see that on
What
his
are those
arms,
for?
but
Huh.
I don't know. I don't know what
Figured you
they're
or
for. We'll
Chris
have to,
would
maybe
probably know.
Chris? Nope.
Huh.
All right, we'll have to find
Not
out.
offhand. I didn't see the picture, so yeah, it's not. I'm not remembering what you're talking
We
about,
won't.
but
You shouldn't
Huh.
say that on the show, because Jeffrey watches the show from beginning to end as he cleans his apartment.
oh no,
So
I'll get a
you
DM.
need to
no.
know.
I
I'll
You
get a
need to
saw.
look at
DM
his
on Sunday.
pictures.
No, I saw the picture. I just have the
Okay,
memory where I
good.
can't even
Just
remember what I ate for lunch yesterday, so I
that's
can't really
okay.
remember what people were wearing last week. So
I'm just confirming
Yeah,
because we have
sometimes I
a very
see
true follower with Jeffrey McEachin. So give him all the love we can.
of
he makes
course,
good use of his laundry and cleaning his flat, listening to Pellet Buddy.
I'm just
Yeah,
upset he
so I'm
doesn't
sure
get
I'll
to
get a
see.
DM.
I'm just upset, John, that he doesn't get to see how good looking you and I look on the show. I mean, he just gets to hear us. But one day we'll get him to sit down
That's
and
good enough.
relax and watch us. All right, finish up the instructor in the
I'm
news.
fine. I'm fine with them just listening. All right. So Robin is the last in the instructor in the news. Robin Arzon was recently on the Hurdle podcast, and it was all about actionable goal setting and the hustler mindset. And this is kind of tying in to with the release of her new empowerment journal called Welcome Hustler. Robin talked all about her first memories of journaling, how she later saw it as a way to claim agency and ownership of her life. And they talked about her whole health, physically, emotionally, financially, spiritually, to then jumpstart her 5-step process on goal setting, which revolves around this whole journal that she's putting out.
and the journal actually came out this past week on Thursday. So she made a lot of other appearances as well, but the journal's finally out this past Thursday, and she did an appearance at Barnes and Noble Thursday as well for it. So
With Michael
congrats
Strahan.
to Robin for her.
Michael Strahan was her moderator.
Yeah. And I know
good.
we haven't really, it's hard to keep up with Cody and his book tour, but he was recently on the Tamron Hall show, which I didn't even realize she had her own show. Like she crawled under a rock after they booted her off of Good Morning America or the Today Show years ago. But he was on her show recently, which I guess they do out of Brooklyn or Manhattan. And then he was also on another podcast. I can't even keep up with all the podcast appearances he's been making lately.
All right. Well, I guess we will wrap it up with the class picks of the week. So, John, why don't you go? You'll go with the first three, and we'll kind of go from there. Unless, Chris, you want to do any of them.
Y'all are welcome to do it. Y'all are good to
go
go.
for it, John. Let's go.
All right. First up, Bradley Rose, his 30-minute pop punk ride from September 22nd. We got that from Armajar 3. She said, fun playlist and a fairly tough workout that might get you close to your PR. And then also for Mama Jar 3, Kira Michelle's 30-minute yoga flow from September 22nd. She said, really good and relaxing yoga flow. And then next up, Mariana Fernandez's 45-minute walk plus run from September 22nd. Got this from Kelly with a plan. And hey, it's Erik M. They said Mariana's coaching is great for people who lack confidence on the tread. She gets you to numbers you don't think you can reach or sustain, but yet it doesn't feel focused on the numbers. Trust her process.
Absolutely. All right, moving on. Susie Chan, 90-minute pop run, 23rd. It was a unbelievable run for many. I don't know how anybody got to do that, but it came from Queen Cheese and Keezy Doyle. Amazing. So great to have these new 90-minute classes, was what they had said. The next one was mine, as well as Cora Lee Brand. Of course, I got to do this live in studio, celebrating a milestone of 400 runs for me, which was just amazing. Oh no, excuse me, I apologize. That was on the run. This was actually the hike that I had recommended. It was John's 30-minute hike on the 23rd, and it was one of the first times that he took members to a 12% incline. It was a really tough hike and an amazing class to be there live for a hike. Never done a hike in studio live, so that was so much fun. And then Callie Gullickson, she had a 30-minute EDM full body strength. It was also from the 23rd. Amajar 3 recommended this one and said, solid workout, left me sore in a good way.
Nice. Next up, Hannah Frankson's 30-minute intervals run from the 23rd. We got this from Sarah Feld. She said, fairly simple structure, but still a great workout, paired with a great playlist too. And then Benny Adami's 30-minute EDM ride in English from the 23rd. We got this from Sparkly 813. They said, fun playlist, and it's in English if you've never tried Benny before. And then Olivia's 30-minute rock ride from the 23rd. Got this from Anna Putello. She said, great songs with Bruce, Killers, Fall Out Boy, Snow Patrol, and more.
All right, and then Jess Sims, her Saturday 60. It was a full body tread boot camp, also from the 23rd. This one came from Keely Tierney. Tough, but great workout, advanced in every sense of the word. And then Leanne Hainsby, her first ride back in the studio. It was the 30-minute 80s pop ride. This one came from me, and it goes out to Leanne for being just as sparkly and beautiful and gorgeous as ever, but it also goes out to my friend Greg Peck, who was shouted out for a milestone, but also for 1 year of sobriety. So he has made it very vocal and has started an amazing Peloton IG page, the Peloton Sober Squad, which basically works with folks that are sober curious, going through sobriety, all sorts of stuff on there just to help people through. And it's lovely how he's brought the community together. So huge shout out to Greg. The music was incredible. Leanne's 80s playlists are just amazing. And it was just a winner, that one for sure. And then Tunde Oyen, 30-minute Latin ride. That one was from the 24th. It was recommended by Anna M. Hershey. They said great old school dance songs. Plus Mariana came up and danced with Tunde at the end. How fun.
Nice. Jess King's 30-minute Disney walk from the 24th. We got this from Finding Dory 78. They said Jess's messaging was on point about honoring yourself and your value. Also badass princess vibes. And then Christine Dierkel's 45-minute Power Zone endurance ride from the 24th. Got this from Live Your Why. They said great class with great music, and last one for a while since she's off to race in the World Championships. And then Rad Lopez's 10-minute core strength from the 25th. Turbo Carm and Annie S gave us this one. They said this class was so effective and really hit more core muscles in ways I didn't expect. It was also so fun and had me laughing at one point because of a remark Rad made after making an error that was so relatable. Also, it was a great playlist and a class that would be easy to scale up or down.
Fantastic. And then Katie Wong, her 60-minute row boot camp from the 25th. Midwife Lexi recommended this one. She said her 60-minute row boot camps give Saturday 60 a run for their money. Watch out, Jess Sims. You got a new badass in town. And then Sam Yo, a 30-minute hit and heels ride from the 27th. This one was recommended by Spin Loving Mama. It was his first class back, I think. Yes, it was. And was great programming. So it went by fast. And then Matt Wolpers, 30-minute Thomas Rhett numbers 1 run from the 27th. Peloton for Rose. It's Me, Carlene, and Who's Your Nurse all recommended this one. They said, love the music. So many hits in this one.
All right. Next up, Maddie Majacomo's 30-minute walk and talk from September 27th. Got this from Marnes 11. They said some great topics and walking in his walk and talk, even if it wasn't live this time. And then Ash Pryor's 15-minute body appreciation row from the 27th. Carly 64 Spin submitted this. She said, these body appreciation classes are great message, but also just a great row too. And then Tobias rounding out the picks of the week. Tobias Hines' 60-minute medal run, which is in German, from the 27th. We got this from Fleetwood Mom, Bertha C. Runs MD, and Queen Cheese. They said this was his birthday run. Medal is 180 degrees from my usual jam, country pop. But it was Tobias's birthday run, and he was so excited for it that his enthusiasm literally vibrated through the screen. You couldn't help but celebrate with him. Plus, he and Charlotte Wiedenbach, the instructor, collaborated on the playlist, and there was a little teasing going on whether the first half, which was geriatric metal, or the second half, which was considered baby metal of the playlist, was better. He's just always so happy to be teaching and running that it's inspiring.
Amazing. And that pretty much sums up the picks of the week. Well, I guess, John, we got through it all. Chris, we really appreciate you being on there and adding value to our very informative podcast this week. It's always
Thank you for coming on, keeping us in line.
Exactly.
Policing.
I think we just used
if that's what we want to call it, adding a little color commentary here and there.
We love having you, Chris. So it's great to have you on there, and we appreciate you being on there.
Like our fact checker, mostly.
We gave you a lot of information, so I guess we are going to wrap it up. We look forward to possibly doing a show next week. We want to send a huge congratulations to Chris Giles, our UK producer, who will formally get married next weekend with his church ceremony and party. So from all of us here at Pelo Buddy, huge congrats, Chris. We love you, and we hope that you and Annika have an amazing life together. You certainly have endured so much through COVID and not being together that we're excited for you to see the future unfold. So huge congrats.
Certainly, yeah, congrats.
I know you guys feel
big congratulations, Chris.
Yeah. All right, folks. Well, for me here in New York City, bye for now, everybody.
And from me here in Atlanta, we'll see you next time.
Yes, and from me here in Michigan. So regardless of whether I'll be recording with y'all next week, I will be at Peloton on Tour Chicago. So if you happen to be attending, be sure to say hi. Jackie will also be there, and Jackson will be probably running around as well. So come say hello if you're going to be attending any of the events in Chicago next weekend. And as always, we will see you on the leaderboard. Bye for now.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your source for everything Peloton, by the community, for the community. Work out with us using the Pelo Buddy TV leaderboard tag, and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Pelo Buddy. Don't forget that we have a podcast available so that you can listen to us while on the move. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV on any major platform and hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.